my love bugs, and happy new year to each and every one of you out there. Welcome to my new channel for recaps, everything reality TV, like reality news and reality shows. It's all gonna be right here. And of course on Mondays I always do my love and hip hop recaps on my other channel, which is my fashion and beauty channel mainly. And then we're over to Samore Love Real TV 2, which is the channel where I do everything entertainment industry related. Okay, so be sure to check those types of channels out and, you know, subscribe and all that other good stuff. Okay, boo. All right, so what we're going to talk about today, of course, as you can see the title, is Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I've been away a little bit, so that's why, you know, had to say Happy New Year and all that other good stuff. I do see that some of my YouTube family out there, my YouTube cousins, are doing that whole Jumpstart January thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because there are quite a few shows that I'm going to do. So it's going to seem like I'm almost doing a vlog almost every day in January, just about anyway. So you're going to see a whole lot of me. There's a lot of shows like Empire starting on Wednesday. We also got Mob Wives. I'm most likely going to continue that. I got to check my views. If the views aren't up to par, I may just drop that and do Empire, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see depending on how time goes. I was thinking about doing Marriage Boot Camp, but nah, it's not that interesting. I don't really like the people that's on there, and I'm not really a fan of Natalie Nunn. What else is coming up? They have the Dancing Dolls. What is it called? Bring It? Is that the right name? Bring It? I feel like that's the wrong name, but you know what I'm talking about. The one with the dancing dolls. That's coming back later on in January. Also, Haves and Have-Nots is coming back, so I'm most likely going to be doing recaps on that. I haven't done any like just regular non-reality based shows, so I think I'm gonna most likely do that as well. It's gonna be on Tuesday, and we have our last episode of Bad Girls Club, The Redemption, which they haven't even redeemed themselves much at all. We have that coming up on Tuesday as well. So quite a few things are in the works, and I gotta see what else. If you know any other shows that you want me to recap, I'll definitely take it into consideration. Maybe I'm forgetting something. You can be sure to put that down below in the description area. Okay, so let's get right into this. So Peter and Cynthia, they're looking for a new place because what's the name of excuse me, what's the name of it? Bar 1, I think. It's gonna be closing down. The landlord had some kind of foreclosure, so now they're looking for something else. They see a nice little spot, and Cynthia is just seeing the future. Like, she's seeing what it could be and not what it currently is. So that's very good to be creative. Because me, I would have been like, You know, I would have to really think about it. But it looks like she did, and she sees some things that can be done, and they can have like an outside area and everything else as well. And that's good because they're in Atlanta, and it's usually pretty warm down there, pretty hot. So Candy, she's showing Claudia her candy factory. She invites her to be a guest on one of her new shows because she's planning to switch everything around. Todd didn't really like the way it was before. It was looking a little too bootleg, so he wanted to give it a more professional type of feel to the naughtiness. Okay, Booski. Phaedra, she's trying to get like a nice gate for her house and keep all the crazies out. She's trying to see if she can get it electrified. She's trying to make it like the jailhouse. She's not playing. She's trying to make sure nobody can climb over or anything else. And plus, I'm thinking that she's thinking when Apollo come back, if she don't want him to come back, he not coming back. And he just so happens to come in when she's talking to the contractors, and he's trying to, so if everybody's here, who's working? You know, he's trying to act like he's the boss. Boo. It's not even that serious. What are you doing? So everybody's looking at him like, first of all, dude, who are you? You know, it's like, why are you trying to come up in here to act like you're doing something? She's the one that's taking care of everything, you know? He's talking about how much it's going to cost. Like, dude, at the end of the day, you're not even going to be here to see any of this. So just now you want to come when things is being done. Boy, bye. Okay? Kenya and her aunt, they go to a spa, and Kenya, I feel like she was throwing a little bit of shade because her aunt said something about, something about Botox, like, when do you need Botox? And she was like, oh, you only need Botox when you look like Nene. And I'm like, we're friends like that, boy. I mean, these people, they pretend to be your friends, but then, like, they can say all kind of crazy stuff, you know? Like, you know, think you should be wearing that dress? You know, they say all kind of little bit of shade and you know, just be throwing it. And I'm like, and then later on she goes to say how they're like good friends and stuff like that now. And I'm just like, okay. If that's what you think, girl, go ahead. So Nene, she's getting 3 offers from like Broadway shows, and she's trying to decide which one she wants to choose. Her manager kind of convinces her that one of the best ones for her would be the evil stepmother for Cinderella. And she's thinking about it. She's just like, I don't know if that's a good role for me, you know? I guess because she's black, you know? It's usually a white person that takes those types of roles, because traditionally we know that usually, except in the remake where I saw with Brandy, it's usually a white person that's Cinderella, you know? And it just makes sense. So I guess that's what kind of was deterring her. But he seems to have convinced her that it would be a very good role for her to be kind of unexpected, you know, do something different. So I think she's going to be doing that one. I think I heard that she was on it, or she's currently on it or something like that. I'm not really too sure. So anyways, Candy Coated Nights is back, revamped, and she has Claudia as a guest. She asks her a few questions, little freaky-deaky questions, and she answers them really honestly. She was drinking a lot, though. I felt like she was maybe like a little uncomfortable. Maybe she was just trying to loosen up, whatever. It's like every question. You know, it was like she's the only one drinking. It seemed a little weird. I guess she's used to doing more like, okay, I'm on the radio as opposed to showing your face type of thing. Maybe that's the reason why too. So Phaedra, she's going to an event with her, like a lot of her colleagues, you know, attorneys and stuff like that. And it went well. She was a little nervous just because she's not really sure what they think of her now because of everything that's going on with her and Apollo. And she doesn't really want to have that connection to a criminal. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, at the end of the day, that's what she chose. And she knew who she was getting involved with. I just think that the whole the part that kind of bothers her is that she didn't know that he would continue the life that she met him with. You know what I'm saying? And it's like she gave him such a good life, I guess, although maybe she probably threw a lot of things in his face. You know, she gave him a good life where he didn't have to really want for anything. It's like now you're on a reality show because of her. You're in the limelight because of her. She's very wealthy. She has all these different businesses. She went back to school. She's a mortician. She's an attorney. You know, all these prestigious types of jobs that she has. And, you know, for him to go back to a life of crime, it's very disappointing. So now Candy, she has like this freaky deaky party. She has like a woman on a platter looking all naked-ish. Then she has on the other side some men. They got the little bondage mask on. They got them little whips there, and they just standing there like, you know, looking all fine and everything. And we already know that it's going to be a crazy type of event because Candy don't play. She's freaky. So she brings out the sexologist. They try to have like some fun times. First they try to get like Nene and Cynthia to kind of bond together, and Nene was just like, oh no, like, we can be in the same space, but I never said we was friends. And Cynthia is just trying to be strong and be like, yeah, you know, I don't need to do that either. I'm like, Cynthia, if she would have said, yes, let's go, Cynthia would have been on it. Cynthia would have been ready. Cynthia just trying not to look stupid and get her feelings hurt in front of a crowd full of strangers. So then she puts her next to Claudia, and she was acting real funny with Claudia. Like, Nene was just acting real stink. I don't know if she was drinking. I don't know if it's the parties that bring out the worst in her or what it is when we do, like, these special types of parties. It's like, she gotta be the one to be, like, all shapy and stuff. Like, she was like this. Like, shade, honey. It was crazy, you know? She was, like, throwing the dirt. And I'm just like, what is wrong with this woman? And she talk about she don't think she could be the evil the evil stepmother because she's not evil and she's not mean. Yeah, okay. I guess it depends on who you ask about that one, honey. So anyways, now when they do the game, who ended up doing it? It was Candy, and Kenya ended up doing it, did a little freaky thing going on there. And then the sexologist, she starts asking them questions about their relationships, their current relationships, and all of them go around the room. And when you get to Demetria McKinney, she's like, oh, I'm with Roger Bob, and we've been together off and on for, what did she say, 8 years or something like that? For 8 years. And then, like, this girl with the mermaid hair, she is like, you been with him? She was like, were you with him like a year ago? And she was like, yeah, off and on for 8 years. That's what I just said. She was like, were you on like a year ago? Whatever. She's like, yeah. You know, and she tells a story about how they were on the Tyler Perry show and this and that. And the crazy thing about it, the girl's like, oh, I was with him too. Not last November, but the November before that. So 2 Novembers ago. And yo, you should see the look on Demetria's face. It was just like, you know, like all the joy had been sucked out of her facial expression. It was just like gone. You know, it was just like total embarrassment. She looked like she wished she could crawl onto some kind of rock and just hide out there. And then it was time for Kenya to go. So Kenya's like, okay, Kenya. And Kenya's just like, she was like, I'm sorry, but there's tea. Yo, she could not stop laughing. It's like laughing my pain. Like, literally, she was going in. And Candy's friend was like, oh my God, I can't stop laughing. Like, she was laughing too. And I'm just like, dang, these girls ain't even right. But I mean, she kind of did it to herself, Demetria, because I feel like she was too boasting. Like, what the hell you need to say the man name for? You have to say, oh, I'm with Roger Bob. Nobody else announced who they was with. Like, what's her name? Portia's like, she's with somebody's long distance. She ain't announced his name was, you know, whatever his name is. I was going to say something, but it would have been, like, politically incorrect and people would have came for me. So, she didn't say, like, whatever his name was. You know, nobody else had to announce, I'm with the Prince of Rome, or, you know, anything like that. But she wanted to make sure it's known that that's who her man is and how much she loved him. And so, yeah, everybody was just laughing at her. And then she just ended up walking away because you could tell she was, like, really embarrassed. And then Cynthia, like the shiro that she is, she ends up walking after her. And she's like, girl, you okay? You know, they're outside. And she's like, do you believe it? And Demetria's just like, I'm like 100% sure that she's lying. I'm like, girl, if that's gonna make you feel better at the end of the day, then you go ahead and you say that she is lying. Maybe that will make you feel a little bit happier about your whole situation. And meanwhile, inside, everybody's just talking about it. They're like, you know, he's been with her for that long. Like, why couldn't he move it on to the next level? Why is it that it seems more like he was using that situation to do whatever he wanted to do. Like, okay, we can't be out in the open. But meanwhile, he's doing whatever the hell he want to do, slinging his thing wing all around the industry. Okay? Yes. I have a feeling that something's going to go down with Kenya because Kenya, that laughter, like, I feel like she's going to try. She's going to do something. And it looked like it's about to be crazy next week because Demetria is confronting Phaedra, and what else they showed? Somebody else was getting into, but I can't remember. But yeah, that's all the stuff that I wrote down. That's my notes, honey. Let me know what you guys thought about that before. Do you think that her relationship is like really real? Like, I feel like she was embarrassed about the whole situation. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I will see you back on my other channel. That's Samore Love TV tomorrow for Love and Hip Hop. Okay? See you there. Laters.